music fans, this is Paul Sikivie. And today we've got jazz bassist Paul Sikivie, no relation. And we're going to talk about your new record, I'm in the Mood for Love. Is that right?
Yeah. It's a 5-song EP.
That's great. And it's a jazz record?
Yeah. I guess that's the easiest thing to call it, jazz or Black American music.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
All right, so I wanted to feature a couple of my mentors, and now that I'm saying that word, it sounds a little weird, like I don't know if they consider me their mentee, but at least Johnny O'Neill, one of them, I know he's referred to me as his musical son, so I guess there's that. And Johnny's one of the people that seems to encapsulate my favorite things about jazz. He played with some of the greatest musicians of the 20th century, Ray Brown, Milt Jackson. He was in Art Blakey's Jazz Messengers. He's in the movie Ray, playing Art Tatum. So he's kind of had this storied career, maybe just under the surface of what you might call all-out jazz fame.
All-out jazz fame, which is what you're going to break through to with this record.
Yeah. So, anyway, around, I guess it was 2010, Johnny made kind of a triumphal return to the New York jazz scene, and after a night at Smalls, he kind of drafted my colleague Lawrence Leathers, rest in peace, and me to play this gig at Smoke. We would play every Saturday from noon to 4, and it was like jumping in a hot seat. And I learned a lot about music from Johnny over the next several years. Played with him maybe 3 or 4 years. Different bands. We played at Smalls a lot. There's a record that came out on Smalls Live, but that was a long time ago, and I practiced a little bit since then, so I'm really happy to have him on the last 2 tunes of this record.
Great. And who's your mentor?
So there's Johnny, and then there's Steve Little, who's an amazing drummer. He's been active on the music scene since 2050. Yeah, 1950, and he has maybe the bona fide of all jazz bona fides, and he played with Duke Ellington's band. He's on a record called And His Mother Called Him Bill, but he also played with Duke Ellington live. Pretty amazing. But even if you don't know his name, he's you might know his drumming, because he was on Sesame Street for decades.
Okay.
So I think a lot of people of our generation are familiar with that. Like,
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11,
12.
Right.
So Steve Little, tremendous drummer. He's got this feel in his ride cymbal. That's what that means, ride cymbal. It is very swinging. And there's a lot of very swinging drummers alive, but he's kind of something authentic and round and non-aggressive in his beat that is hard to find these days.
Mm.
And I met Steve through a great friend of mine, Greg Ruggiero. He's a guitar player, and we had a regular gig for a while too. So these are two kind of people that I learned a lot about jazz from by playing with a lot. And it kind of struck me that they had never played together, and as far as they know, they never played together. And so I thought it would be cool to get them on a record together, and that's what happened. And I feel like, if I didn't share that, it would be pretty selfish, right?
That would be selfish indeed. Why don't we listen to a little bit of Johnny O'Neill and Steve Little? Daddy-o! Woo! So, is that like a jazz standard you guys are jamming on, or what is that? You know?
Yeah. Well, no, it's not that. It's an original. It's an original blues. It's called Riles Wiles. It's I named it after Stephen Riley. He's a great tenor player. You didn't hear him there, but he's all over the record. And he's just, I feel like he's an underrated tenor player. He got like this sound that's reminiscent of the golden era of jazz. And he's great ideas, great time.
Okay.
Beautiful guy.
So, did you write some of the music on this?
So, there's two originals.
Okay.
There's two four-horn arrangements of standards, and there's one just piano trio kind of impromptu type thing.
Nice. So who else on the record?
Right. So besides Johnny, Steve, and Steven, there's Brandon Lee, great trumpet player. I've known him basically since I've been in New York. It's 13 years now, and just great, clear tone, great rhythm, great ideas in his solos. And then on the four-horn arrangements, there's Caleb Curtis on alto saxophone, really thorough musician, and David Gibson on trombone, who's a great trombonist, great foundational element to the sound here. Also really funny. And, I don't have a lot of experience as a band leader, especially when it comes to having horns in the band. So
no kidding.
These guys kind of did a great job of hearing what I wanted and kind of delivering it. So
cool.
I appreciate that a lot. And also, there's a great drummer named Jason Brown who, he's been doing these quarantine drum videos, real nice, educational type videos with a friend of mine, Charles Gould. Anyway, so he's only on one track. He's on the first track, and it seems a little weird. The reason is I got a little overambitious when I did this recording session back in October 2019, and basically I tried to do a little bit of everything. So there's some string quartet, There's, piano trio. There are these 4-horn arrangements. There's even a couple songs. So we'll hear more from Jason on the next record, hopefully coming out before the end of the year.
Cool.
And yeah.
Cool, man. Well, let's listen to a little Jason Brown then.
Sounds good.
All right, and that's Gleeful Gals, right? From your new record. Is that right?
Yeah. That's that title is a play on Brandon Lee's name.
Oh.
Actually, his email address. It's called Gleeful Gals. So, I guess both of the originals on the album are kind of like plays on the names of the musicians. So.
Okay. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of like a counterpoint type tune, like one of these Charlie Parker tunes, like Alevcha or Chasing the Bird.
That's great, man. So, yeah. Well, I'm sure we're all really excited to hear another instrumental jazz record. Before you go, I was going to ask, this is your debut record, right? But I haven't seen that, like, in any of the articles, like the New York Times or...
Well,
Downbeat.
yeah.
I mean,
that's kind of a thing, I just feel like every time, a jazz musician begins his career in earnest with some kind of debut record,
right.
It's like a sad capitulation to these pay-to-play kind of economic realities. I mean, I don't want to demonize the industry people. I don't think anybody's like got bad intentions or anything. It's just like, you gotta like.
That's I guess
Pay publicists and
Paul, it's been great having you. I think
Probably
that's
never gonna make your money back.
that's all the time we've got today.
Musicians never make money back.
Best of luck with your career, Saudi. Yeah, I'm sure it's gonna go great.
I submit to this system, and I'm just